Hi, I'm Dimitri Metzeltin, Technical Sales Manager for Loud Technologies in Europe, and just in time for the 25th anniversary of Mackie, I'm presenting here the newest generation of Mackie's VLZ mixers. Greg Mackie started about 25 years ago the whole business with compact mixers, and today we have here the newest generation called the VLZ4, which consists of 8 mixers in total. One important thing we did from the beginning with every new generation is to improve the audio quality with putting in higher grade components. As during the years components become cheaper and cheaper, instead of making the mixers cheaper, we invested in higher quality components. And that's also what we did with the new VLZ4 mixers. For example, here we are now using Mackie's very renowned Onyx preamps on all the VLZ mixer line, and under the hood we find a new op-amp called the M80 op-amp, which allows a better channel separation and a better resolution in the high frequencies. But we've done even more. You know that the VLZ mixers have been copied very often but never equaled, and this time we thought about a complete redesign of the mixer. So we have a new color coding here, so the engineer knows exactly what he's doing even in bad lighting conditions. Another new thing is that we have this very nice ergonomic faders now built into the VLZ mixer line, so these faders have never been used before. So we have a complete redesign of the mixers, but also under the hood the specs are very impressive. We have a THD of 0.0007%, an equivalent input noise of less than minus 128 dB, and adding to that our negative bus summing here, these mixers also are ideal for broadcast applications. Another thing we've been looking at from the very beginning is to make these mixers really robust. So we call it built like a tank, and this is not just a marketing gag. These mixers are really robust and rock solid. Many videos have proven that. Some videos already became classics where you see that people drive with a car over a mixer, for example. What we've done with these mixers is, this is a wraparound steel steel chassis that we're using here. The board is screwed in very tightly, and if you look at the knobs, they are all sealed, so no dust and grime can come in here to the mixer. So just for quick reference, I will show you that this mixer really is robust. I will just stand on it and you will see that nothing will happen, nothing will break, and the board stays in the same place. And also nothing happens to the audio circuit doing that. Actually, this mixer, I've been using it many times in presentations, throwing it, stepping onto it, then connecting the microphone again, and the audio was pristine clear, as always with Mackie. So, built like a tank, it's not just a marketing gag, but we really mean it. These mixers are really robust and roadworthy. So let's take a quick closer look to some of the mixers. We have here the 402, the 4-channel mixer with 2 microphone inputs. We have also here instrument inputs if needed. With the 802 we have more microphone inputs. Again, you have the switch here for using the input as an instrument input. Up to the 1202, which I've just stepped onto. On the 1202 you then have 4 microphone inputs, but we have more. We have 2 stereo returns, 2 aux sends, some more line-ins here. You see the master out, tape in and tape out, and on the back side you will see a couple of more connections here. You see the master out also as an XLR out. You see the control room outputs, 4 inserts, and we have an alternative output here. Alternative output means this is a pretty cool thing that Mackie's engineers have thought about. If you use the mute button on the 1202, the signal goes out to the alternative output, so you can make an alternative mix if you like to. So now let's take a quick closer look to the 1604 VLZ4. We start from the top. You see the 16 renowned preamps, Onyx preamps by Mackie. Then you see 4 aux sends, but in total there are 6. I will explain how that is. We have the aux 1 and aux 2, which can be set to pre or post here. Then we have aux 3, aux 4, and with the shift button you can switch from aux 3 and 4 to aux 5 and aux 6. Then we have our 3-band EQ with parametric mids for all 16 channels here, plus a low-cut filter, which you also can find on the other VLZ mixers. Underneath the EQs you see the faders, our new ergonomic faders, which makes mixing really easy. When we move to the right, you see our master aux sends, you see the 4 stereo returns here. The stereo returns again can be routed to different places like the master out or the subs or even to the aux sends. Then you see the control room section where you can choose what you want to hear in the control room. And underneath that you see our 4 subgroups, which again can then be routed to our main mix. And now let's take a look at the backside. Before I go there to the connectors, I want to add that you can flip around the backside using our optional rotor pod kit. So this means that the connections are not on the backside, they can be on the upper side or even at the bottom of the mixer, depending on how you want to integrate the mixer in your rack, for example. Okay, now we see here the backside of the 1604 VLZ4. We see 16 microphone inputs, 16 line inputs, then 16 inserts, so every channel has its own insert. Oh, and by the way, all the connectors are balanced where appropriate, so you have really high audio quality there. We see the 8 direct outputs here on the back side, then the 6 aux sends, 4 stereo returns here, then subgroup output, so every single one of the 4 subgroups can be routed to a single output. Control room balanced outputs here, tape in, tape out, inserts for the main, so you can add a compressor or a limiter in your main signal, an adjustable mono output, and we see here our balanced output for the mains. As I have said, the VLZ4 mixer line from Mackie consists of 8 mixers in total. We have seen the 402 4-channel mixer here. We have the 802, we have the 1202 that we've seen before. We have a 14-channel version, the 1402, there's the 1642, the 1604, and then there are 2 big mixers, the 2404 VLZ4 and the 3204 VLZ4 with 24 channels and 32 channels. Now there's 2 main differences between the 2 bigger consoles and the smaller ones, besides having more inputs, more channels. We have on the bigger mixes a 4x2 USB 24-bit audio interface. 4x2 means I could also record the 4 subgroups, for example, on separated tracks and later on add the vocals to it if I like. And I have a stereo return which also can be routed to a separate channel, and again there can be worked on this channel. The other feature that we have on the bigger mixes is that we have 2 DSP effects built inside, so you can add delay, reverb or other effects to any of the signals. So this makes the 2 big consoles ideal consoles for front of house, because we also have a lot of microphone inputs, more than any competitive mixer that's out there. On the 2404 that's 20 microphone inputs, and on the 3204 we have a total of 28 microphone inputs. So with these 2 consoles you have ideal analog front of house mixers. So talking about applications, sure, you can use our mixers as front of house mixers. You can also use them as monitor mixers or as sub mixers. We've seen also the ability of the 1604 where you can choose whether your connectors are on the back or on the upside. So that's also ideal for a monitor mixer. And there's even more, because of the very high audio quality. You sure also could use any of the mixers in any broadcast application or in a soundtrack, for example. And if you look down even to the smallest mixer, which can be used as a small sub-mixer, it could also be used as a high-end headphone amp in this case. So that's also very useful for the 40204. Okay, so to wrap it all up, we have a total of 8 mixers in the VLZ4 mixer line. We've seen a couple of them here. The new features are the renowned Mackie Onyx preamps that we've built into any of the VLZ mixers. We have the new op amps that we've built in. We have the complete redesign with the new color coding and with the new ergonomic faders here. A lot of routing options that I've seen here, and also a lot of connection options that are there. So this makes these mixers really ideal for any kind of application where you can use an analog mixing desk. My name is Dimitri Metzeltin, and these were the Mackie VLZ4 mixers. Thank you very much for viewing and listening.